What is going on, guys? My name is Sean Barnard, and today I'm here with ohbetting.com, here to break down a sportsbook review for you. I'm here to take a look at Bet365 online sportsbook and casino, which is legal in the state of Ohio and has been since January 1st in 2023. I'm here to take a breakdown, look at the pros and cons of the overall sportsbook app, take you through the registration process, the login process, depositing money, how to place a wager, and everything else that you can expect from the overall sportsbook. Now, before I dive fully into it, I would like to recommend that you guys check out ohbetting.com. The link for the website is right in the description to this video. On the website that you can get a more in-depth breakdown of the things that I'm discussing today. They have a pros and cons list in article form that goes a little more in depth than I will with you guys today. So if any specific questions you can have answered on there as well. And in addition, it has a link directly to the website to make sure you go right there and make sure that you're capitalized on the best possible promo code. So I'm going to touch more on that in a second, but make sure that you jump on ohbetting.com and capitalize on the best offers there. Now let's dive fully into it. Let's take a look at Bet365 online sportsbook and casino. As you can see the interface here, you see the green and black kind of style. This is what the general home screen will get and what you log on when you first get here. And the first thing that you're going to want to do in this situation is click the join button. So you see the join button in yellow right at the top right here. You're going to click this, and here's to open your account. So obviously within the United States, in the state of Ohio, you break down your first name, last name, social security number, email, just the last 4 digits of your social security number, nothing super high risk there, as well as address, create a login, verify. It's a very quick process. In under 10 minutes, you will have yourself set up with Bet365. So you can jump through these. One of the easier login and account creation processes across all apps. So I will give them props and recommend that there. Now let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's say that we are logged in, that we just went through that login process here. I'm going to take a look at what things look like once you are on the inside. So now with this screen here, in this situation, the first thing that you're going to want to do, and I'll click the login here, the first thing that you're going to want to do is deposit money into your account. So you go to the top right here where you see the your account button, and then you go to the deposit. So you're going to go to the deposit button here, and here it will take through. So you can see the options at the top here. Debit card is the first one that it takes you to. They also have PayPal, Pay Near Me, Pay Safe Card, and the online banking if you want to directly link it to your bank. So those are the most common ways there. And just as far as the withdrawal options, pretty similar, that you can withdraw through a credit card, a debit card, an online bank, a Pay Near Me, or a PayPal. So pretty diverse options when it comes to the deposit. Let's say we went through that, we put our money in our account, and then we're looking to get rolling. So now we'll go back to the main screen here. You get a look at the overall interface, and I will give Bet365 a pretty favorable review and response for the availability of their banking and deposit options. That is one of the bigger hurdles that occurs on some sports books and casinos. Is obviously you cannot have any fun or have any enjoyment without physically getting money into your account. So it is essential that it is a part of the process there. Now that we're on, we look at their general interface here. You can see some of the best boosts, and props. So these are constantly rotating, they're constantly shifting. And by the way, when you do make that first deposit, it is important that you capitalize on the welcome and bonus deposits there. Typically, the most lucrative option that they do offer when it comes to a bonus and a off the bat is the welcome bonus. So make sure that you're taking the best advantage of that. And once again, the best way to do that is by checking out ohbetting.com. So make sure that you're taking advantage of the best possible promo code and setting yourself up with some free money in your account, and make sure that you're maximizing your potential earnings by doing so. So make sure you do that on the first deposit and as you're getting signed up, and then get ready to capitalize. So let's take a look. You can scroll down the left here that has all the options for sports. They have the popular ones right up here, the top events button to make things easier. And then, of course, the full list, which is football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, tennis, as well as some more niche sports when it comes to Australian rules football, badminton, boxing, cricket, cycling, darts, esports, Formula One, handball. It goes on and on. So a ton of options, pretty diverse betting options when it comes to Bet365. Pretty impressive what they do here. And we're going to dive into how exactly to place a bet. So let's jump over to the NFL, take a look at some of the specific options here. As you can see, all the lines for the week 2. And they do have it split up into the spread. Kind of nice. You see the Thursday night game coming up, that they give a little window into the analytics of what to expect, that when you click on this, it breaks you down a little more in depth. So that's another thing that I would consider a huge advantage of Bet365, is just a little bit of the access to more information. You don't have to go to an outside resource, which there are plenty of, to break it down. You can click directly on it and have a little bit of a window in. So as you can see in their career, that these teams, the Eagles and Vikings, are 15-15 all time. So this matchup will decide which team takes the upper hand in the all-time series there. But let's scroll through. Let's look at a couple of these other games on the market. and I'm feeling good about the Cleveland Browns. So I want to wager on the Cleveland Browns this week. We know they are the Monday night game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming off a victory in week one, the Browns obviously took down the Bengals. They are 2-point favorites against the Steelers. This game will be taking place in Pittsburgh. Browns 2-point favorites. The over-under set at 40. And the Browns are minus 130 on the money line there. So let's say I want to click the spread here. One of the interesting things that I think is very cool, and when you click that, it does not pop up into a bet slip on the right side, which is the case with most of the sportsbook, is it is right there for the taking. So as it pops up, instead of having to move to another location, you simply just type in the set wager button. Let's say I want to put $11 on it. So 11 to win 21, and then you would simply click place bet here. So that is as simple as it is for placing a bet, that it pops up directly right next to where you click. And in the same breath, see how it popped right there? If I was to take the Commanders plus 3.5, boom, right here at the bottom again. So once you click it, it pops up right there, and then you just take it right there. So you don't have to move to another screen. You don't got to slide to the top right. That you click it, it's there, and you can take those options. Now, another thing that I want to touch on is let's lock in that Browns -2 again. Let's say I'm feeling a parlay. So if I want to click on, let's jump on the Cincinnati Bengals as well. So they are -3.5 favorites against the Baltimore Ravens, another divisional matchup there. The Bengals are plus 100 on the odds there. A little bit surprising for spreads when you look across all the other locations, that pretty much minus 110 across the board when it comes to spread. Actually, the Ravens and Bengals is the only game which is not minus 110 on both sides. But obviously, it's a little interesting there. Does not matter. I believe that the Bengals will win this game by at least 4 points. I believe in the bounce back that Joe Burrow will kick off the rust, and I'm feeling confident taking it. So I will take those. And as you can see, it automatically combines it into a 2-leg parlay here. So jump right in at plus 281 odds. And something to note is it's already suggesting a little parlay boost there. So you can see pretty friendly with the odds boost. Those are an awesome way to make sure you're maximizing profits. But just for the sake of example, let's say that I'm feeling confident. I want to put $15 on this. So that would be 15 to win 59.30, and then 211 of that would be from that parlay bonus. So you can see that it breaks it down for you, which is nice. A little bit of a smaller, I guess, ability of it being right there, right available is very convenient. So, and that applies to as many teams if you want. If you want to throw the Indianapolis Colts at -1 against the Houston Texans in the midst, bang, the odds change. That is now plus 628 for all three of those legs. And as we know with parlays, that there is more risk. Obviously, all three of those wagers will have to hit in order for it to be a successful wager, but there is a higher payout which comes with it. So that is the double-edged sword there. And it is not limited to just individual bets on games. For example, let's go back to the Browns game here. We see where it says 210 here. Those are the other available wagers. So let's click on that here and see the screen it takes us to and dive into some of the more diverse options when it comes to. So obviously there's the simple breakdowns with the traditional spread, total, and money line here, as well as broken down into first half and second half, first quarter lines. A very cut down in these, and then some of the promos that are popping up as well. So make sure to keep an eye on that. The cash out, which is a cool little option there. But let's say I'm feeling a same game parlay. So these are growing in popularity a ton. If I want to make a same game parlay for this matchup, number one, we're going to start with the spread. As I mentioned, I'm feeling good about the Browns in this one, and it gives every option possible. And you know what? I'm going to move that number a little bit. So let's say I think they win by at least a touchdown. So I'm going to take the -6.5 spread, and we'll go. Let's move over to the player props within the same game parlay here. So we're going to scroll down. Touchdowns. I'm going to think that there's at least 3 touchdowns in the game from both teams combined. I think that's a good odd at plus 210 there. That's impressive. So we're going to jump, and I want one more in here. How about the game specials? I don't think there's going to be a successful 2-point conversion. Boom. So add all those, and it jumps to the same game parlay and plus 260 for these odds. So each of them a little bit juiced. That plus 260 number was them combined together. So for the Browns to win by a touchdown, over 3 touchdowns total, and a successful 2-point conversion at plus 260 odds. I don't love how that one turned out as far as odds wise. A little bit surprised it isn't higher than that. But that is an option that I just wanted to walk you guys through. And it is not limited to just the same game parlay. Let's take a look at some of the more traditional main props when it comes to player props and things like that. So for the main props, these are game based, that these are broken down like this. These score props for the touchdown stuff. So it does look like we're lacking in the player props for now. It's early in the week that those will be popping up as the games get closer. A little disappointed I could not include that in the example, but this will be in those same categories, that there will be a player prop option popping up. So a little early in the week. expect those to be popping up. And as I mentioned, it is not limited to just the NFL either. That you can jump. Let's jump over to baseball. That you can jump in. See Orioles versus Cardinals. A couple of these feature games popping right up here, which is very cool as well. And with the bet boost of these are the encouraged offers. Something to keep in mind with these, like for example, if you want to jump in here, this is bumped up and juiced on the odds for a same game parlay for the Yankees versus Red Sox, and those options are Yankees to win the game, Giancarlo Stanton with a home run, and Aaron Judge with one or more total bases in the match. So that's a much more favorable payout at plus 1,200 for that. I like that a little more than the one we cooked up, but that is the same idea. And as I mentioned, here are for baseball with these games set to come today that there are already player props on the availability. So here is you can break down the over for Brady Singer, for Adam Wainwright, each of these things. So that there are player props available for baseball. So they are available on the Bet365 app, just not for football just yet. And the last thing that I want to bring up specifically, we'll circle back to football for this, is we'll jump over to the futures section. So you don't have to wager on just one specific game. You can place one that you believe will last the length of the season. It gives you something to root for week in and week out and makes things a little more fun. So let's jump to the futures and to win outright the Super Bowl odds here. So we drop down, we can see the Chiefs are favorites at plus 650, the Eagles at plus 750 right behind them, 49ers tied at plus 750, the Bills at plus 1,000, Dallas Cowboys plus 1,100. And look at that, the Cincinnati Bengals at plus 1,200 right behind them. So let's put a little wager on that. We click on that. We see a profit boost and available. So you can see them really pushing on these profit boosts, which is a good thing. That is free money that you can have on the table. So something to keep in mind there. And let's say I'm feeling really confident. Let's go $10 on it. 10 to win 130, and that's something you can watch through the length of the season. So you can drop that down, and there are more options when it comes to the futures as well. If you want to bet your team to win the division, the standings, things like that. So you can take a look and these standings. This is kind of cool too, that it gives a look at what the team's record are, as well as some odds on the side to win the conference, things like that. So there are a little more research end of things on the Bet365 app. That is one of the things that I would consider a major advantage of it, is that instead of having to Google outside on an outside app for having a look at what the information you're trying to get, make an educated bet, all that comes with that is a lot of it is offered on the app itself, which is very nice. You can see the interface, the functionality is pretty solid, that it is pretty easy to navigate and use. I like how things pop up right in front of you when you need to place a bet. The payment options are pretty acceptable. I'll knock a little bit off there. We'll give that a 4 out of 5 in the department. I would like for them to expand their e-wallet services with things like Venmo, Skrill, Cash App, things like that, which are becoming more and more common. The bottom line is as long as you can get money into your account, that's all you need. But it can be a little inconvenient if the type that you desire is not there on the table. The Sportsbook app, I'm going to give 3 out of 5. The biggest complaint that comes forth with Bet365 is that Android users have had a tough time on the mobile app. That the issues are nowhere near as common on iPhone or even on the mobile platform, which is what I did the demonstration on today. But Android users have had some difficulties with it, and we do have to take off some points for that. I will give a 5 out of 5 for the variety in features, that there's over 25 sports that covers a ton of ground, especially on the international sports stage. I think they do a really nice job of taking advantage of that. It's one of the biggest advantages of using the sports book as a whole. And as I mentioned with the research platform, I do think that's a differentiating factor when it comes to Bet365 that the competitors do not always stand up to. So obviously that some of them do have similar features, but I think Bet365 does a very nice job of using that. The customer support, I'll also give a 5 out of 5 to. That there's several ways to get connected with a real person for assistance. The real person, having a person to talk to, makes life way easier and is becoming increasingly difficult nowadays, especially in the sportsbook industry. So I would say that. And I will give a 4 out of 5 for the welcome bonus. In general, it's pretty solid. I think they do a really nice job of pushing promos throughout. The welcome bonus itself, I wouldn't say is as lucrative as some of the competitors, but still a nice way to coat your account and make sure you have extra money to work with. So still much better than some of its competitors. Not the top of the class, but very good nonetheless. So overall, I would recommend using the Bet365 app. I think it checks just about every box that an avid sports fan and sports bettor could want. I love the additional information that it provides and these stats that you can kind of bank on and have right at your fingertips. So make sure to capitalize on that. Make sure to check out ohbetting.com for a more complete breakdown of this. And best of luck with all your betting adventures moving forward. My name is Sean Barnard, and thank you for watching.